even religious people, even through church. Church is alone contributes to, okay, yes, this is the whole country in a whole. If we say we are talking about the whole country in general, they waste $240 billion. I mean, $240 billion in a year minimum, or $500 billion in a year. How much we lose due to the general statistics of people if we only take 40 million Nigerians. Yeah. But just by the church itself, just if we take church alone is bringing economic damage to the country to the tune of over 100 billion. Over $100 billion because of unnecessary religious activities, because of unnecessary dogmatic demands on people's time. You see, the church and the religion in Nigeria put so much demand on believers that demand has become catastrophic. It's now having economic consequences on the nation. So the national economy is suffering just because of the activities of the church. This is not even talking about the offering and the unwarranted offerings and tithes and all those demands that churches are collecting from people. But even just the time the church is collecting from people, because people in Nigeria will go to work and run away from work just because they want to go to a prayer meeting within the working hour. Or some people will even leave their work earlier and run to church at the time where they're supposed to be working. Or even during the break, some people will go and be praying and doing prayer meeting during the break, and they don't come back on time to go and work. So all that, by the time you put that together, and then sometimes they call people during the midday, during the work time, the midweek, they will call people to go to the mountain, to go for some convention, to go for some meetings, and people will not be working. They will just, tell their bosses they have to go. Some of them in Nigeria will have churches every day, from morning till night. So these are work hours, and they will be working. They will not be working. They will be in church. So can we see the second, the second slide, please? Let's see the statistics on how the church is contributing to economic collapse of Nigeria economy. Nigeria is losing $3 billion a week. $3 billion a week. And $156 billion a year. That is 1/4 or 1/4 of Nigerians' total GDP due to unwarranted, unnecessary religious demands. Wow. This is just talking about the church, the Christianity. I'm not even using Muslim. If you are going to add Muslim to this, it will be minimum 200 billion. $200 billion dollars out of 500 billion that we're having as a country. Nigeria and church people, religious people are wasting. Religion is becoming deadly. Religion is costing us badly right now in Nigeria. Wow. It's good to give people freedom of religion, freedom of faith, but the way things are in Nigeria, religion is no more enhancing growth and development. Religion is no more enhancing people's prosperity. Religion is hindering it. Religion is destroying people's livelihood just because of the unnecessary demand of pastors. Pastors would demand that people come to church 3 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week. The time they're supposed to be resting or being productive. The time they're supposed to be doing personal development. The time they're supposed to be doing extracurricular growth for self-development and growth. The time they're supposed to be developing second business or apart from their work, developing some economy means to be able to sustain themselves. Every time now is in church. Just being wasted. And then they're having all kind of meetings, so it's every week, the Nigeria economy is losing $3 billion. Every week, $3 billion. $3 billion a week. Let's continue to go. Religion is terribly crippling my country's economy, guys. Religion is crippling Nigeria's economy. Let's go to concrete examples. The Redeemed Christian Church of God, they gather up to 12 million people in a single meeting. Can you imagine? And sometimes in a single, sometimes those people, that 12 million people, it's not just on Sundays they gather them. They will gather them, sometimes for a whole convention. Sometimes they will gather them for a week. Sometimes they will gather them for more than a week. Sometimes they gather them for a whole weekend. The time that people are supposed to be using for creativity, they cannot create. They cannot be creative. So the economy is losing. People are losing. People are dying. People are just being destroyed because of this. Faith Tabernacle of Winners Chapel, just their building, gathers 100,000 people sometimes. They have 50,000. I think they have 100,000. Wherever. Up to 100,000, between 50 to 100,000 people. Salvation Ministry, 90,000 people. Dunamis, 75,000 people. Now I think it's 100,000 now they have. So by the time you put all this together, and some of them meet not just once a week, they have several something. Can you imagine? People just come for work. Even if it is after work, people are meeting. People came from work and they are meeting after work, millions all over the. When would they be productive? When would they be able to develop themselves? When would they be able to have creativity? So it's backwardness. Religion is taking us backward in our country. Next page. That's it. The Mountain of Fire, Miracles, the same thing. MFM. 500,000 people are being packed, on a weekend or sometimes, So by the time you put all these figures together, 12,700,000 people, these are people that are, being held back from contributing to the economy when they are supposed to be at their workplace and contributing.
12 million able-bodied.
Able-bodied men and women. So this is why, we are backward. This is why we are backward, because we don't respect people's times. These pastors and religious leaders don't respect people's life or their time, and talk less of their productivity or their creativity. Yeah. So since these 12 million people stay in those auditoriums praying, singing for 1 hour, sometimes more, when they should be at their workplaces working, and then the country is losing. So per hour, every hour, just if you count this number alone, every hour Nigeria is losing $127 million every hour just because of this. Anytime these churches are meeting. And then they will still take some of their money that they work for, they will still go and give to those churches. So you could multiply this number by 2. This is just what they are losing as per time. The wastage of time and the wasting of time. But if you are going to add that to the money they are even bringing again to those religious places, you could double it. Slavery. But you and I know that most Nigerian church services last more than 1 hour, sometimes up to 5 hours. Yes. Hence, if we multiply the above money by 5, we will be losing 638 million every 5 hours. Those number of people spend in church instead of at work. So every church service, every time those people meet, we are losing almost over $500 million every time those churches meet. And we just talk about 5 churches. What about talking about all the other churches in Nigeria?
Wow.
So, and of course, if these meetings happen 5 times a week, we will lose more than $3 billion in a week. So that's it. So $3 billion in a week is leading to 150 something, $160 billion a year, just because of religion. So all this, a lot of, and this is all connected to time. So there is a lot of mental orientational work that needs to be done. There is a lot of changing of mindset, a lot of enlightening work that needs to be done, not just with people, with politicians, but even with religious people, with pastors, with Muslims, leaders, with imams and people in the mosque. But the mosque people, I don't think they go to church, to mosque so often like the African, like the Christians. I think the mosque people mainly do that on Fridays and every day. And I think, yeah, I don't know, I think the mosque is as bad as too, because they are praying 5 times a day. And some of them are also walking away from their workplace. So by the time you add, the mosque to this, you will see how religion is totally crippling our economy.
Thank you so much for watching our videos. Now, we need to spread this word, and we need to do it together. For that to happen, we need your help. Just 5 little steps that you could help us to spread the word. Number 1 thing we need you to do is to like the videos. Please go like this video right now. Number 2, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Number 3, we need you to press and click on that notification bell. You see the bell? Go press on it. And number 4, we need you to go comment. Write your comment, good or bad, just write what you feel. Number 5, share on every platform. Share on Instagram, share on Facebook. Just share and spread the word. Thank you so much.